Hey, Wes, why don't you talk about the live sessions we have going?
The Guitar College live classes, they really are perfect. They really are. I mean, you're covering great topics, essential for serious guitar players to know, and at such an affordable price. Plus, you're live with a group, so it has this fun element to it. They're going to book up quickly. So in case you don't know, Guitar College live classes are our new live group Zoom lessons that are focused on topics that can sometimes essentially be shortcuts to learning jazz and improving quickly. They're 90 minutes and they are sprinkled out throughout the month. You'll have to check out our schedule to see them.
They really are an important tool for learning, and I think the price is really good too. Gee whiz, $44 a session. It's really a small investment, really, to change your playing around, and learn some things and ask questions. And I think they'll truly transform people's playing.
Not to mention you're picking unique topics and different ways of looking at traditional topics, which is cool, and it'll give your practice routine some structure. So you're going to know exactly what to practice the next couple of weeks after the class, because there's going to be a section at the end with the best ways to practice and, more importantly, apply what you just learned. And we're always adding new topics to the schedule at guitarcollege.com/live classes. Go there now to see what is there, see if any of them fit your schedule.
And one of the best parts, these are live sessions, so you can ask questions, play some things for me, talk about some troubles you might have.
Plus, the lessons are recorded, so you can re-watch them after the session, which is really important when it comes to actually...
Well, anyway, that was Green Dolphin Street, and welcome to another live, broadcast from Guitar College Inc., coming down from Atascadero in the Central Coast of California. Want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us. Without you guys, this doesn't happen, so thank you very much for showing up. Wes is working the...
Everything?
Everything.
Everything back here.
He's working it like a... Well, never mind. He's working it. And Gail's working the message board. Whew. And we have another show. This is jam-packed show today. So we got a lot to cover here.
Well, we got what you have in your hands, the L5 right there.
Yes.
That's the big story of that.
That's the big story.
Yeah, so the L5 Wes Montgomery that you picked up from who?
You went to his house.
Right. So local guy.
Yeah, what a nice guy, too. Yeah, we're going to talk about this guitar. Somebody, James, one of my accelerator students, has already emailed me and said, if you're selling that, I want to know.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, that thing's going to be a hot item. But, you bought it thinking, what, you were going to sell it. And I think now changing your mind on that, for sure. Which is smart, I think. But, anyway.
Yeah. I already have 3 L5s. But they're all different. They're all different, aren't they?
Well, yeah, and you know what the difference is between the L5s and your other guitars? You actually play the L5s. You take them out of the case and play them.
I do.
That's why.
Well, that's true. There's always
a lot of other guitars that we've been rummaging through. So, we'll talk more about that coming up. And you got sent a wrong guitar.
I did. Isn't that funny? I mean, I had ordered this guitar from this guy. And I bought it on, I think on the 30th of December, something like that. And I still haven't received it. And I go to check on it, and it says the label has been made. So I'm like, so I emailed the guy. I said, on Reverb, when the seller makes the label, then he gets the money. And then it just sits around now. It's just sitting around for 15 days. And so I write to him and said, hey, when are you going to ship that thing out? And he writes back right away and says, oh, I'm going to ship it out today. So he did. And he shipped it out. It came really, really fast. But he sent 2 guitars. And I thought, wow, maybe this is a 2-for-1 deal. Right, so he also shipped a Gretsch 6120.
There you go. There's your new guitar right there.
Now he's going to send a label so I can send it back to him. So he made a mistake. So we also got Sean coming up. Sean is coming up to do an interview for the Jazz Guitar Festival. Sean McCowan, wonderful player from Denver. And we're going to talk.
Keep going.
Okay.
Talk.
All right. I'm working on it. I'm working. I can only talk as fast as somebody can perceive. So Sean is going to be joining us.
And if you've never heard Sean play, man, he is a killer player. He's going to play something for us. So you're going to want to stick around for Sean to come up. That's coming up around noon. So stick around for that. And then you just got back from the San Rafael Guitar Show.
That is correct. And I sold one of the D'Angelicals, that Sunburst one. And boy, I had a lot of people looking at my 1951 350 as well as that 68 Super 400, but nobody's pulled the
Talk
trigger.
about the attendance there.
Oh, it's packed. Packed attendance. It's never. I've never seen it that packed. The to get in, it took like 30 minutes to get into the show because of the crowd. You know, and most of these people bring a guitar because they want to sell, so they got to check them in. It takes a while. It's a long process, but yeah. So anyway. A record number of dealers, record number of attendance. It was super busy.
Yeah. And you happen to be sitting right next to
Mark.
Yeah, talk about him, a photographer who does some pretty interesting stuff.
Oh, he does some beautiful photography. He was there for taking pictures of people's guitars. You know, for X amount of dollars, they'll take your picture and make it look like, see, like there's that 51 350. See that blonde one there? And he took that picture.
There's our Super 400 right here on the right.
Yep. Yeah. That's in the middle. There's another Super 400 picture. Excuse me.
Yeah, so.
And what about the, go up. You missed the...
I know, I saw it. It's right. I'm
there.
looking for the better one.
Okay, there's the L4.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy takes photos of guitars at his booth. I reached out to him to see if he might want to come to the Jazz Fest because I think a lot of people might want to get there if they're bringing their guitars to the fest.
Yeah, get a magazine perfect photograph of their guitar.
Right. Yeah, and especially because they're so precious to people, and people want to remember them, and
Sure.
But they are cool. I mean, look at how sweet they come out. So
yeah, he's
this is his website right here. If you guys take a look, see Mark Thomas Calwhite. So
right, and Mark sent me a text right afterwards and said, "Hey, I tested positive for COVID."
Right. So he's up in the Bay Area too. So a lot of guys, if you're watching from the Bay Area, he probably might make a house call or two. But anyway, let's.
You want to see who's watching?
Yeah, let's see who's here. We got a lot of people so far. 87 people already, which is awesome. Tony Fudia is here. Yuri Levkin, Tony. Cresso is here. Midnight Blue, let's see, is born in Rome, New York. Wait a minute, 72. Just took delivery on a minty 93 Guild X500.
Nice.
Live in very cold climate, so leave it in the box for now so it can acclimate to the room temp before I unpack it. Is that what you do?
Yeah, that's the best. Let's see, it's a 500 laminate, I think. So I don't think you have too much to worry about. But it wouldn't hurt. Let it acclimate to the climate. This time of year, man, when the temperatures get down, it's rough. Maybe not as bad as when it's really hot. But I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't have perfect climate everywhere you go.
Right. Lewis Taylor's in Chicago. Hey, Lewis. El Guitar 69. What's going on, buddy? Rob Ketterer in Wisconsin. Mike Brandenberger down in Dallas. Hi, Mike. Shaft 9000. RB Moman. John Burkhart in Western South Dakota. What's going on? Michael Murray in McKinney, Texas.
Hey, Mike, hold on one second. Mike Murray called me. He asked me to tell you his music, which he's a wonderful, talented writer, is on Spotify now. Spotify and all the things. So look up Michael Murray.
Michael Murray. Awesome. Congrats on that, Mike. Way to go, buddy. Gordon Zoot in Birmingham. Charles Lambiase in downtown Jersey City. William Melton. What's up, William? How's it going? Don Spain. What's up, Don? Mark Larkins over in Tennessee, and Don Boudreau in Maine. How's it going? Eddie Davis in the Bay Area.
Hey, Eddie.
Daniel Lowry's here. Franz from Holland. Lock. Hey, Lachlan. Tom Colhane in Connecticut. Leo in North Dakota. Andrew in New Jersey. Rob Newbury Park. What's going on, Rob?
Yeah, Rob.
Mark in Dallas, Jim and Kirby are here. What's going on, guys? They're down in SoCal too. Don Myers, Gary, Salima, how's it going?
Gary, I got to work
from
on your lesson.
Italy. Oh, yep. Got to work on your lesson. So in progress. Advin Jack, what's up, buddy? Jeffrey Boyle. Yeah, got a lot of people here. Michael Harrington. Good to see all you guys. Adel from Copenhagen, Denmark. What's going on? Gustav G in Mexico. Adrian's always in the house. Pat Evans and Luca Pezzotta. All right, there's roll call for you there.
Pat's in sunny Fresno. Yeah, you can hear the ocean from there. I don't think so. I think those are trucks going down Blackstone there.
Right. So I got a few quick announcements to get through. I'm working on this new Guitar College store. So it's going to be loaded up with different lessons. A lot of them are from the library. We're kind of transitioning over to a new platform. I'm trying to up the video quality of some of the older lessons and put them up on this new site. Unfortunately, the Guitar College library is kind of as is, and just we can't really adjust many of the videos here. So we're making them better. We're adding new stuff, and it's going to be at Guitar College Library/store. So it's going to be something new for us. I've added a few things in there, but we're really excited about it. It's, just kind of like a easy storefront. You get a little description, add to cart, and buy it. So
it sure is pretty, Wes.
Yeah, so pretty soon it's going to be loaded up with 20, 30 courses, and I want to put the new the Guitar College the last Guitar College live class that we had on there as like a little course. So I'm working on that. That's in the progress. And speaking of the live classes, you guys got less than a week to sign up for the next one. It's on Wednesday the 22nd, 6 p.m. Stacking arpeggios, mastery and application. And the first one was great. It was an absolute success. This one is going to be just as good. You had a good time doing it, right?
Oh yeah, I had a wonderful time. Yeah. All the guys are so nice, and people were able to ask questions, and you helped out on that because you could moderate, and so we had a lot of people on it, and so it was nice. It was very nice. I had prepared a big PDF for it, and they were able to download it. And I tried to rethink there is everybody there, or most of them. Try to rethink the arpeggios instead of the way we always were taught, or at least the way I was taught. A different way of thinking of them. And then this next one is going to be on stacking them, and that's the beauty of the whole thing. When you start stacking arpeggios, it's pretty cool. There's Tim Patchen. It's pretty cool. So anyway, this will be a real good one. Yeah,
so go to guitarcollege.com/live classes, and you can get your name on the list for next week. We already got a bunch of people signed up, so it's gonna be fun, and
gonna be big fun.
Yeah. What's going on with Jazz Guitar Accelerator?
Well, we got we're just plugging along with some guys. I don't know how many guys we got right now. Maybe about 12 or 13.
Right. We have 3 open slots right now for Jazz Guitar Accelerator. So if you are interested in doing the one-on-one coaching, it's really awesome. It's there, jazzguitaraccelerator.com. It's intensive, but man, it's worked really well for a lot of guys. A lot of guys watching this show have done it. So, William and yes,
Locke,
right? Tom,
Don,
yeah, a bunch, but yeah. So three open slots. So people are getting calls. We're taking calls and stuff. So. If you want to book if you want to try it out, just go to jazzguitaraccelerator.com. And yeah, you'll be greeted by this homepage right here, and then you just go down here and book a call with us, and we'll talk about it, see if you're a right fit. We'll go over what we cover, what your goals are. It's all catered to you, so it's a pretty unique program that we're pretty happy with.
Right on, Wes.
Yeah.
Way to go, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah. So what we've got coming in. I got this Herb Ellis 165 Herb Ellis. Oh, got some pictures of it. It's got a Benedetto pickup on it, and he also sent the original pickup, which I think I'm going to probably put on. So I haven't gotten to work on this thing yet. I want to still need to do that. Do a few things and tweak it a little bit, but it's in beautiful shape.
Yeah, it's a red guitar.
It is red. Red goes to the head.
I mean, that thing is cherry red. Apple, candy apple.
Yeah.
It's cool looking though. Yeah. I'm curious to hear, see what that Benedetto pickup sounds like.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's going to, who knows, that thing might sound pretty sweet.
Yeah, I wish it had a gold pickup cover. I don't know if a traditional Gibson cover would fit that.
Right. So anyway, so you got that will be available pretty soon if those Herb Ellises are pretty sweet with the one pickup. And then this guy's sweet too, man. Look at that.
Yeah, so I just got that at the show. It's a 550. And it's in beautiful shape. The only problem was that a lot of the, living in the Bay Area, it's very humid. A lot of, see how the tuners and stuff are not shined up. So I'm going to have to get busy on that. The pickup covers were, all corroded. So I worked on those a little bit. They look pretty decent now. And I had taken the bridge off that. Or excuse me, not the bridge, but the tailpiece. And I had another tailpiece, and I just soldered that on last night. Fret wear is really hardly anything at all.
Yeah, that thing's cool. What was the pickup all about here?
Yeah. There's the pickup. The guy had swapped out the front pickup. Does anybody know what the heck that is? Does it look like REYNA?
Yeah,
RNE?
Raina?
Yeah, so I don't know who made this pickup. I've tried to do a little bit of research on it, trying to spell that name different ways. I assume that's an R. But anyway, it's a custom-made pickup, and so I'm going to leave it in, and we'll see what it sounds like. If it sounds bitchin', we'll go with it. If it doesn't, then I've got a Schaller, the original pickup, put back on it.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. Those guitars are 550. Well, Tom's right here. Tom's got a 550. Loves it. Got several of my students have had the 550.
But yeah, I mean, especially this particular one. I mean,
the blonde.
Look at it. It's like
I've never seen a blonde one.
That's what she said. Like Gordon said, she's a real looker. Like, yeah, that thing is just really, really nice. I mean, the wood that they used on that is prime time. So that'll be someone's prime great guitar for someone to pick up.
So I don't know if I've got if I'm going to be able to polish those tuners out that well. Maybe I'll just get some other ones. I don't know. It's just got to look good, I think. I personally don't. A guitar is a piece of art, so if the frame on a nice piece of art is rusty, it doesn't look like, it's like yuck. So I'm gonna work on that and get that all ready. We'll have that ready by next week, as well as the Herb Ellis. Herb Ellis, they sent it with a wooden bridge, and it sounds to me like somebody is really trying to tweak the sound, replace the pickup. And remember, you said they had risen the pickup off the top.
Right. Yeah, they did the
little pickup thing.
Yeah, the pickup ring trick thing.
So they've been working with it, and the sound. I don't know it. The thing about a lot of guitars is you want them to sound like this, and it ain't going to. It's going to sound like it is, So if you have a sound in your head, some guitars aren't going to achieve that sound, but, some will come real close, so.
Right.
It's like that 550. That 550, I remember the first time I played a 550 with Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly says, "Man, that thing sounds good," and he's got playing his Benedetto. It's like, yeah, these sound fantastic. Yes, you're right. Whoa, that's a fat sound, isn't it? Holy jeez.
And then we just added a few guitars to the website as well. So you decided you're going to keep that Wes Montgomery, which means you're going to now let go of something. Yeah,
I'm going to. This is my Eagle Classic that they made for me, and it's got the inlays and Pete Farmer there, the luthier, said, "Rich, I did some things to the top just because it's for you." And that is a bitchin' sounding guitar, but. Then I just sold the new one. They're very close in sound. The new ones. This is a 2019. I guess I've recorded a lot with that, and I've played with it and a lot, and took it to.
Yeah, which we'll pull that thing out later and play a tune on it for sure. And then we also added the.
It's a little different color, if you notice, than the Eagles they make nowadays.
Yeah, you could see that on here in these. So you can see like here's this one, and then here's the brand new one's like way more yellow. You see that?
Yeah.
Here's the brand new one.
Yeah.
This one's got a much
Orangey.
more brown, brown orange, which I prefer. I'm not a huge fan of that yellow. The super
really?
yellow.
I like that yellow.
So when I saw this one, it definitely is good. And then we added the Gibson 1944 Gibson L5 with the D-arm and pickup.
I'll tell you, that guitar freaking sounds stupid good. And
Right.
we'll play that thing. That's a bitchin' guitar.
Right.
And people were all over that guitar. Now, we'll talk about that guitar, but...
And then Mike just was asking if we still have the this guitar, the Guild X150 Savoy, which we do.
We do.
This is ridiculous. This thing sounds so good for how...
And that's a solid top. By the way, that's a solid top, and I'm selling it for a friend of mine who lives down the street, and so that's a hell of a price too. I think they're a nice guitar, real nice.
Yeah,
guitar.
it's a couple years old.
Yep.
I believe this thing's a 2022, but I mean, yeah, like I said, it's really just nice. And then when you plug it in and you hear how it sounds, you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy. So.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy stupid. Yep.
And then also too, just real quick, I added some new pictures of this on here.
Oh, did you put those pictures that Market took on there?
No, I didn't put those on there because I don't. I couldn't. I told you this yesterday. Okay. I can't clip them out and put them on here.
Oh,
that's not fair to him. But this guitar, still on here, waiting for a good home and some all new fresh picks for you guys, so you can check them out. Cool. All that stuff is available at guitarcollege.com/for sale. Go check it out, people.
Bingo. Bingo.
So yeah. So anyway, you ready to get into this guitar?
Yeah. Real quick though, Gail said there's a Fernando Reyes custom guitar. So it's Reyes. So that could be the pickup. Maybe so.
Interesting. I don't know. That doesn't look like. Or where was that picture? Shoot, sorry. It didn't look like a Reyes though, did it?
Well, R-E-Y.
Lena or Jaina or something.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But it's even got that big long number, serial number and everything.
Right. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, so before we talk about this guitar, we should mention that it has your custom gauge strings on it. And that is flat wound Diodarios at the 13, 15. You see it right there on your screen.
Yep.
So get that out of the way. You can buy these strings at guitarcollege.com/strings. And then we are also not going through an amp here. We are going through a Mackie mixing board. So no amp here, just a Mackie mixing board, and you're looking at the strings. All these guitars have these strings. All the guitars are going to be going through the board. So here you go.
Very good, Wes. Good job. Hey, if you like what Wes does, send him a tip.
Hey, there you
I'll
go.
give you a tip.
Lachlan did send me a tip.
Oh, really?
Lachlan, I appreciate that. So he sent me $20. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah,
So look at
I've been working hard on the show and trying to make it a little more fun.
You know what? Today is not a good day. We're not doing this today.
What is that?
It's not a lie, if you believe it.
This is my favorite new one.
What?
You want to talk about fair? Does anyone need to smell my old carpet?
Who is that? Is that Seth?
That's Michael
I
Scott
want to talk about fair. Does anyone need to smell my old carpet?
Who's Michael Scott?
from The Office.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah, thanks a lot, Lachlan. I appreciate that. Now let's get into the guitar.
Let me play a tune.
All right, cool. Yeah, so
What do you think?
it sounds great. Mike Smith said, man, that guitar's so full sounding. Didn't George Benson record with one of those in the earlier pre-Ibanez endorsement?
I don't know. I know he had a Super 400 when he was real young. He used one of those, but this guitar probably wasn't around then, the Wes Montgomery. This came out in 93. This is a 93. So this particular guitar is 30 years old. And the thing, you want to start looking at it?
Yeah.
This thing looks great. So you got, you've got a solid top. By the way, to tell if you have a solid top or not, if you push down on these pointy things here, if it moves a little bit, it's solid. If it's really stiff, it's a laminate. So a little trick to figure it out. So it's got a little bit of discoloration on the pickup cover here. Solid top. It's got the tortoise shell pick guard that gases off. Ebony fretboard, nice inlays, 3-piece neck. Look at the back. Got a nice back, solid sides and back. The guitar is signed by James Hutchins. So I met James a couple of times before he passed away. Real super nice guy. And
Let's see if we can see the arch on the back of that thing.
oh yeah, I was pointing out to Wes when this thing was sitting on the bench. Look at the arch on that. It's can you get that?
Tilt it more. There you go, like that. Look at that bubble.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? How about on the top? Do we have it on the top as well? Might be a little harder to see,
Yeah.
but yeah. So it's and then of course you got just the one pickup, and that's about all you need, right? You're not gonna. Well, I take that back. There's a lot of people play rock tunes with these things. In the olden days, like I think it was Jerry Miller of the Moby Grape played an L5 and just kind of smoked with it. And then, so the Wes Montgomery L5, the original, his, was an acoustic that he had a pickup put in. And so the bracing was a little different. Now, I really don't understand or don't know about the bracing of this, whether or not it's close to an acoustic or not. But it could be. I don't know. But James, I said to James, I want to get some of those L5 pickups for my L4. And he's like, it's not the pickups, man. It's the whole guitar. So let's hear it. Here it is acoustically. It's got a beautiful sound. On this nut, I had to, the E string was cut a little low, so I had to build it up and then recut it. And then I was adjusting the other ones. And I think I cut the D string just a hair too low. I knew it when I was doing it too. Thought, uh-oh. But anyway, I'll have to fix that.
Midnight Blues says he loves his Wes Montgomery L5. Nothing like it. Working on an arrangement of While We're Young from his album So Much Guitar.
Oh, nice.
Lachlan asked, what are your thoughts on the L5 Studio? Man, I haven't seen. I only saw one of those a
few years ago, and in the at a Dallas guitar show, and I played it, and I thought it sounded pretty good. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. You know, so
They're this is certainly interesting looking.
yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah. They don't.
That's
Holy cow! Those are 52 now.
Look at this one.
Oh my!
Huh.
Holy cow!
5600.
I had no idea.
Interesting. I've never seen or heard one of those. Well, I love the colors though. Look at this thing. They're super like.
There's one for 41.
There you go, Locke. There's your new guitar, buddy. Your new white guitar, Alpine white.
Yeah, it's the Colonel Sanders of
Right.
guitars.
No, that's interesting. Those are. I've never seen one of those. Is it like the same dimensions?
Yeah, and solid wood and stuff. But I question the paint job on there. Is that smothering it a little? I don't know. I don't know that much about it. But I didn't realize they were that much money. Seems to me when I remember seeing them, they were around 25. Of course, like I said, that was a long time ago.
Mike asked, were L5s made back in the 50s and 60s also?
Yeah.
When did they, do you know when
They
they
started in the 30s, but they were, the first L5 was actually a 16-inch. And then they expanded it to a 17-inch.
Nice.
And then, then they started putting pickups on it in like, I don't know what year, I don't know what year, but then so.
Got it. By the way, thanks, Butch, for the tip. Appreciate that, buddy.
Butch, what's happening, man?
Yeah, Butch is an accelerator student.
Yes, he is.
And then let's see. There was another question here that Oh yeah, Daniel Lowry asked, how do you feel about the two-pneumatic versus wooden bridge?
Well, I go back and forth. For a while, I was always taking off the wooden bridge and putting a two-pneumatic on there, just because I thought it would be better. And then after a while, I thought, I kind of like the sound of the wooden bridge, and I started doing the opposite. So, they're both, it depends, the bridge has a lot to do with the sound, and the wooden bridge, it depends, rosewood or ebony. Ebony's pretty hard wood, might as well be metal. But then it depends on how the bridge is cut, how it surrounds the string. And then if you get an old bridge, like, let's see, Reed, who owned this originally, who owned this,
He's probably watching too.
Yeah.
He was tuning in.
Reed, thank you, man. And I emailed you. I need to, want you to email me back. He said he put a a real old wooden bridge on here. So apparently he liked the sound, a little darker sound of the wooden bridge on here. And they said, well, people are going to want the original. So he put that on. So, yeah. Later on we'll do, because we'll do a comparison with all the L5s and see which one we like better sometime.
Yeah, we'll see which one you're going to get rid of.
Yeah.
That sparkly one.
I tell you, I like that 68 so much. I love the neck on it. It's got that skinny neck. And there was one at the show, and it was 68 with the pointed cutaway, and they wanted $16,000 for it. And I'm like, holy moly. Okay. Jeez. But I love that neck on that guitar. Be nice to have that guitar neck on this body. But anyway. And then I go back and forth. The L5s are deep. There's a 3.5 or 5/8 or something body depth. And like the Heritage's Golden Eagles are 3 inches, and they are a little more comfortable, to be quite honest.
Yeah, well, Reed said that on that particular guitar, it is the full. I believe that's what it is. It is a full 3.5 inches. A lot of the other ones are a little bit less.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's like, if you put a measuring tape up to it, that one, yeah, is like, his other one is like 3 and not quite a half, like 3.4.
Yeah.
3.37, but that one was wider than his other one, because he has 2 of them.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
it could help with the sound, I'd imagine.
That's right. He does have 2 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His other one's super nice.
Oh, did you see it?
Yeah.
What year is it?
I don't know. I think it's 2008, 2002, or 2008, maybe something.
Oh, I thought it was older.
No, I don't think so. Wait a minute, 72. One of Wes's L5s on Reverb right now. It looks great, but I'm suspicious about the back of the headstock. It isn't stamped made in the USA. The serial number looks wonky. Any thoughts? And then Midnight Blue says they're not stamped with made in the USA. At least mine isn't. Made in the USA is normally for non-Gibson custom shops.
Yeah. This doesn't say. Oh, yeah, it does.
Does it?
I think so. Yeah. Does it say that?
I can't. Where would I see that?
Right under the serial number. Right around here.
Yeah, you can see it in between the tuners right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says made in Taiwan, right?
Yeah, Korea.
Oh.
So yeah, I'd imagine some of them have it, some of them don't. Let's see. Butch said, which Michael Murray said, your strings sound so smooth.
Thank you, Michael.
The first L5, Butch says, the first L5s were designed by Lloyd Lohr in the 20s.
20s, yeah, okay.
His first teacher had one 16-inch.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. John said, I have a 34 reissue L5. Ever played one?
No.
No, that's an old one. Have you ever tried the DV Mark Jazz 12 amp? It costs less than Hendrickson and Quilter and a great bang for buck amp.
No, I never have. Who is that girl? Sandra Smith
Sandra, yeah, Sherman.
Sherman, yeah. She does a review on several of those amps, and that DV did sound pretty dang good. So I don't know how many watts it is or where it breaks up and all that, so.
Right.
But that's nice. I'd never played out of one myself.
Right. Do you want to play? Let's play like some sort of Wes song or some. Let's get some octaves going, and then we'll get ready to head out to Sean. He's standing by waiting for us to chat about the Central Coast Jazz Guitar Fest. And he's going to play something for us. I believe he has his LHT guitar with him. So
cool.
If you've never seen Sean play, man, he's a killer for sure. He's got some awesome fingerstyle technique for sure. He's a college professor at University of Denver. Been there for years, and so he's good friends with Peter Hendrickson and always at the Rocky Mountain Fest. So anyone who's been there has seen him, I'm sure. You ready?
Almost. Okay, you might have to adjust the volume.
Alrighty.
Before we get with Sean, why don't you do a little blurb on the fest so people know what we're talking about?
Okay. So yeah, the Central Coast Jazz Guitar Fest is coming up on February. Sorry about that. February 28th through March 2nd at the Santa Ynez Valley Marriott in Buellton. This is the lineup right here that you see on the screen. Sean McGowan is in that pack of people, and over there on your left-hand side, he's one of the guests, one of the teachers, the performers. There's gonna be there are 20 plus teachers and performers there, which is gonna be awesome. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, jazzguitarfest.com is a place to do that. There's going to be classes, concerts, solo performances, duo performances, gear room. A bunch of awesome guitar makers are going to be there. It's just going to be super fun. So yeah, jazzguitarfest.com is the place to get tickets, and yeah, like I said, Sean is on the staff of teachers, and I'm going to show you a little bit of let's see if I can make this work. Here we go. Nope, that's not the right one. Where are you?
Okay, good, Sean. Hey, how you been, man?
Man, I've been great. Yeah, school starts next week, so I'm still enjoying the last couple of days of winter break here and getting ready for the new semester.
Cool. So you've been doing that a long time, teaching there in Denver University.
This is my 18th year, actually.
Wow. Well, good boy.
Yeah, and I'm ready to talk gear too. I was listening to the first part of the show, and I could talk all day about all the stuff that you were going over. And that Wes sounds really great. What a nice guitar.
Yeah, doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what are you playing there?
This was actually my first archtop that I have. This is a Brad Nickerson Virtuoso model. There's this logo there.
Oh wow!
And I've had this since 2003. I commissioned it from him back then, and it's a beautiful guitar. Brad Nickerson, for those of you who may or may not know him, back in the 90s, he was part of the Chinnery Blue Guitar Project, so he was one of the builders for that series of guitars. And I'm from New England originally. I'm from Maine, and Brad in the 90s lived in Northampton, Mass. And I met him at a guitar show. I think it was in a Boston guitar show. And you might recall, Rich, back in the 90s, I think the price was really inflated for vintage guitars back in those days. I remember if you went to a show, in the 90s in particular, there were a lot of Japanese buyers and
that's right. Yep.
These dealers would be at the shows,
Yep.
and they would have all these incredible, vintage archtops, as well as Strats and Tellys and things, and they wouldn't even take them out of their case. They'd just be sitting there, it was just a transaction. So I got pretty discouraged in trying to look for a vintage archtop at that time. But the silver lining of that, the blessing of that, was me connecting with the luthier community. And so at that same show, I ended up meeting people like Brad Nickerson and Tom Rebecki, and that was kind of my first foray, even if peripheral, into the luthier world, which has been quite a rewarding thing to be a part of. Over the years, I've played a lot of different guitar shows, and I've had the good fortune to meet and then subsequently become friends with a lot of these builders. And man, I have the utmost respect for independent luthiers that are just, like one-person shop doing their thing. It's kind of a cliche that they talk about we're in a golden age of lutherie, but I think that we really are. I mean, there's just so many talented builders, and there'll be some at the festival coming up, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and they're not, when you say a guitar builder, I remember one guy, a friend of mine, used to say, anybody who's got a few woodworking tools in his garage calls himself a luthier. But when you look at these guitars, it's not just, it's artwork.
Yeah.
I mean, so a person really has to be an artist. They've got to have so many elements to build a fine guitar. They have to kind of play. They have to know how to play. So
I think absolutely. I mean, for me, if it's going to be a good guitar, the luthier has to know how to play the guitar.
They got to know how to play and play well, and then they got to have an artistic end to it, and plus be great woodworkers and have vision. Because you just don't want to build the same thing. You got to have some vision.
Yeah, it's really true. Some of my favorite luthiers, of course, Brad is like in his late 70s now, so he's part of the earlier generation of builders from the 90s, and I think it was really important that Scott Shinnery project, just because it kind of put the spotlight on a lot of independent luthiers of the time, like Bill Cummins and Linda Manzer and Bob Benedetto and all of the people that were a part of that project. And Brad went to Berkeley. He's a great guitar player, but he's also an incredible visual artist. Two of the luthiers that are going to be at your festival, Rich, Tad Brown from Southern California and Tyler Wells of LHT Guitars, they're both incredible guitar players and great artists as well. Tyler used to do he was in construction, he was a head contractor in Northern California for years, and I've seen some of his work, like some of the remodels that he did at these homes there, and it's just incredible. I mean, he would design homes in interior design and all of that, and then when he decided that construction was taking quite a toll on his body, he switched paths to lutherie, and because he was a guitar player, he was like, well, I could probably build a guitar, and I think he's he then apprenticed with Tom Rebecki, but I think he's one of the most innovative luthiers on the scene. And the same thing with Tad Brown. He apprenticed or worked with Kirk Sand for many years in Laguna Beach at the guitar shop, and Tad's a great player. He has a great eye and a great sense of design.
Yeah. And the Tyler Wells guitars are so, and you have one, right?
I do.
Yeah, they're so, they've got that illusion going on with the way the top is with the bottom, and
Yeah.
It's you look at it and you think, what the heck's going on there? And it's like, what a trip. It's very cool.
Super
Very
cool. Yeah, so this is a like more of a traditional 17-inch arch top that has some custom specifications. I mean, it's kind of like what I want it to be at L5, but it has, of course, a carved top and carved back, same dimensions, but a little thinner on the sides, like you know, like 2 3/8. Actually, I have this guitar right here that I'm going to bring out to the festival in California. This is Tyler's brand new blue guitar project. So.
Yes.
For anybody that's out there watching, we talked about the Scott Shinnery project, and that's a famous collection of 18-inch arch tops, all acoustic, that was commissioned by Scott Shinnery, who was a very wealthy patron and collector, but patron of the arts and luthiers. And in the 90s, he commissioned 22 acoustic arch tops, patterned after this classic D'Acquisto arch top that he had. And there's a book about it. I mean, there's a Blue Guitars book, and these guitars were in the Met, and they were featured in the Smithsonian for a while as an exhibit. And then they sort of, after Scott Shinnery passed away, they sort of dissolved. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think that there was some fear and trepidation among the community that the collection would be broken up and they'd never be played again, or they would just disappear randomly, because that happens a lot with guitars after people pass away and things happen. And so fortunately, fast forward to just a few years ago, there's now an Archtop Guitar Foundation, spearheaded by Ty Danko, who's in Vermont. And not only did he and the rest of the Archtop Foundation purchase all of the guitars, I believe from Rudy's in Soho, they bought all of the blue guitars as a complete collection, but they decided to continue the tradition and commission new blue guitars from the current generation of luthiers out there. And also, I think one of the coolest things about the Archtop Foundation is that they don't want them sitting behind glass or in a closet somewhere. They want these guitars to be out there and to be played. So they're currently loaning out, kind of like the Stradivarius Foundation does with their instruments. They're loaning out these instruments right now. So a lot of great players in New York and around the country have access to these guitars. And I just want to do a quick plug. Ty and the Archtop Foundation, they want to document these original guitars. So I'm making a recording. I'm going to do a solo guitar record this spring using about 6 or 7 of the original blue guitars in that Archtop collection. But this is one of the very new ones. Cool. You might have seen this that was unveiled at the Rocky Mountain Archtop Festival. This is Tyler Wells of LHT, and this is his addition to the blue guitar collection. And I'm going to bring this to the Jazz Guitar Festival.
Oh, cool.
February, so everybody can check it out and play it, and I'll be playing it, and it's a really amazing. So this is Tyler's, based on his Fugue model, which I don't know if you can see on camera here, but it's a multi-scaled instrument.
Yeah.
So there's slightly, it's not too dramatic, but the frets are slightly fanned. And the body is asymmetrical, which it looks like kind of a trip to play, but it's actually super comfortable. And the joke that I make with people is like, they ask if it's weird to play a multi-scale guitar, and I'm just like, as long as you don't look down, then it's okay.
Yeah, because your hand naturally falls that way.
It really does.
It
I mean,
does.
If you look at your hand, your index finger, mine at least, curves kind of this way, and it's not, it's not perfectly straight. And things that would seem like they're hard to play are actually quite comfortable with a multi-scale. So this is the first multi-scale instrument I've had the opportunity to play extensively, and they're really nice. I like them. Yeah,
and when they come to the Jazz Fest, they'll be able to check these guitars out. So that's cool.
Yep. That's right. Tyler and Tad Brown will both be there. They'll both have their guitars there, and that's another kind of added benefit to the Jazz Guitar Fest, is that there'll be luthiers hanging out, and all of the attendees will have an opportunity in between the workshops and lessons and jam sessions and all of that. They'll have an opportunity to talk one-on-one with some of the top luthiers in the world and get a chance to play their guitars, which is a really special thing.
Yeah. I was just at this Marin County guitar show, and there was a fellow there, Steve Swan, who said his friend just passed away, and he was a guitar builder, and he left these piles of beautiful wood. And I said, well, you got to come to the show and bring all that wood because we're going to have all these luthiers there. They're going to want all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Is he going to come, do you think?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Oh, great.
So that'll be kind of cool.
In the same way that we nerd out about archtops and pickups and everything that we talk about, they obsess about wood and wood stashes and things like that. And it's pretty funny because a lot of these shows that I have gone to over the years and performed as a player, the luthiers are there, and then inevitably somebody will show up with a stash of wood from Europe or from somebody's got a secret stash of Brazilian rosewood, and they're just like little kids, like they're all lined up outside the tent with their credit cards ready to buy the wood.
Yeah. And then it doesn't play until they make it into something. Yeah.
Well, that's what's amazing about a lot of those, luthiers is that they have the ability both with their eye, but then with their ears, they can tell what's going to be a great guitar, and
you
it's
see
pretty
them
cool.
thumping.
I think it's almost mystical, and I think it's amazing how they do that.
Yeah, it is. Well, okay, so
well, real quick. Speaking of guitars, we had a quick question here. So if you guys have a question for Sean, just type it in the chat. But Advent Jack was wondering, do you have a preference on like a nut width for your guitars?
Yeah, if I had my choice, I like 1.75. That's kind of a standard, comfortable width for fingerstyle players, I think. But I try not to be too fussy about it. I mean, I'm fine playing a Gibson. Those are a little narrower, more narrow. I'm borrowing from a friend who's owns a store here in Arvada, Colorado, where I live. He's got a great collection of guitars, but I'm borrowing a Tal Farlow from him, which I love. I love that. I've been loving playing that guitar. And, it's a little narrower, but I can't be too fussy about it because I have a good friend here in Denver who plays piano and bass and guitar and banjo and mandolin and accordion and saxophone all equally well, and we have this running joke, like we were playing an acoustic gig one time and he was playing a bunch of songs on an upright, an acoustic bass, and then he switched to mandolin and he was like, man, I feel like I've been driving a Mack truck all night and now I'm in a Mini Cooper. So I can't complain too much whether it's just like Gibson width or like 1.75. I can't be too fussy about it.
Yeah, this particular Wes Montgomery, it's 1/11/16, but the spacing of the strings seem a lot wider. It's weird. So there's so many other variables, the way the nut is cut. So,
yeah. It's
what are you
really
gonna
true.
do?
And I think it's good to play. I don't want to get locked into any one thing where I'm like, oh, I can't play a this scale length or that type of thing. It's like,
right. Yeah, I kind of got that for a while. But, when your hands kind of freak out, then sometimes some are better than others.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, you have that kind of like intense. We all do have that intense, like, we're just like a tiny, like, fraction of just a couple of millimeters or a fraction of an inch will make a difference. You can feel that because it's all tied in with your hands and your neurological connections and everything that you're accustomed to, which is a really amazing thing when you stop to think about it. But I just never wanted to get locked into one thing. So with that in mind, I'll practice on different guitars just to get that going. I mean, it's funny. It's like there's guitars that are like, it's either usually like the Gibson scale length standard that most people like, or 25.5. This is actually 25.25. So it's kind of in between.
Nice.
So,
Yeah.
but if I had my preference, I like 1.75 width at the nut, and I don't really care about the scale length. I would say between 25 and 25.5 is fine with me. Sometimes those Gibson scale lengths are a little too short for me, like a Les Paul or something like that. I can't really play those guitars very well.
Yeah. It's all what you're used to, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I like about the Tal. The Tal Farlow is a really cool design that Gibson did because it's the 25.5 scale length. It's modeled after an ES350. It's a little thinner on the side, so it's more comfortable to play.
Right.
And there's some really cool features. And earlier, Rich, you were talking about having the double pickups, and I'm kind of with you in that, like, I don't really need a back pickup. But interestingly, I was watching a video of Tal play the other day, and when he does that thing where he plays like a solo using harmonics, he's using a pick, but he holds it like this, and he does his first finger to do the harmonics. And when he does that, I'd never seen a video of him doing this before. He would switch to the bridge pickup.
Oh, really?
Which makes sense because it's easier to hear harmonics. But yeah, as soon as he did that, that's how he played those. If he had a guitar with 2 pickups, he would always go to the lead pickup or the bridge pickup and do the harmonic thing, and then he'd switch back to the neck when he would play regularly.
Wow, that's interesting. Wow, that's cool. I never knew that. Actually, you want to play us something?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I hate to put you on the spot, but I guess you already knew that.
I think he's.
I'm ready. I mean, that's what I'm here for. And just so you and Wes know, I don't have the YouTube page open, so I'm not seeing any.
Yeah.
If there are any comments coming in, I'm not seeing any of that.
For sure.
Just feel free to jump in, Wes, with any questions or anything like that. But
Okay.
yeah, so I was just talking with Wes before the show, and I guess it looks like at the Guitar Fest, I'm going to be doing a workshop on fingerstyle playing and specifically walking bass lines and chords and playing a melody and stuff. So I think maybe I'll play a tune that has some of those elements in there. Can you hear that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Gosh.
or something like that.
That was sweet, Sean.
Wow, that was really good, Sean. You really are good.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. How do you know where to put your fingers?
I mean, most of the time I don't. Sometimes I get lucky.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you're going to be able to see Sean play not only just solo guitar, but with a group and stuff too at the fest. And so,
Yeah.
Sean, in your opinion, what do you think is the major benefit of people coming to this thing?
Oh, well, it was such an amazing weekend last year, so I can speak from experience here. Anytime that you have a group of like-minded people who are, passionate about something and really love what they do, and it's a gathering really that's centered around love and mutual appreciation and just fascination and wanting to learn. It's different from it's not a conference or any kind of a weird corporate thing or anything like that. It's a gathering of musicians, guitar players, and builders. And so, I mean, that alone, I think, elevates it to something that's much more enjoyable than like a trade show or a conference or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think what's really cool is that everybody is immersed in music for the whole weekend. It's like going to school for a whole semester with the amount of information that you get access to, all of the different teachers that you bring in, Rich, from all different backgrounds and experiences, and so there's like real life stories and experience to tell. A lot of the teachers there are LA people that have incredible histories in the Los Angeles music scene, the studio scene, the jazz scene. And there's just an incredible diversity of workshops that participants will be able to, I think, really learn a lot from. The whole idea is to just go there, take it all in, and even though if it feels like your head's exploding, you just walk away from that weekend so inspired. I mean, I know that I did, and I was one of the faculty members, but just being there, there's concerts regularly, open workshops, jam sessions. It's just like a full immersion of music and guitar all week. It's kind of like going to Disneyland for us. So
That's a good analogy. And this ride requires a D ticket. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, and I think this is even going to be, bigger and better than last year. And last year was so much fun, and I'll be there with my good friend Peter Henriksen, who lives down the street from me, and he'll be there with a bunch of amps. In fact, I'm going over to the Henriksen shop tomorrow, and he's very excited about a brand new reverb circuit that he's going to start building in his amps. And I don't use any effects except for reverb, so I'm kind of a reverb nut. I've got a bunch of reverb pedals and a lot of strong opinions on that. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow afternoon. We're going to sit down and have a good reverb A/B session. He's really doing. I've been fortunate to be good friends with Peter and his whole family for years now. Right after I moved to Denver in 2007, and so along the way, I've helped him, kind of beta test and be a sounding board for his different ideas for amp designs. And so he's got some really cool things coming down the pipe in the next year or two. So to be excited about.
Yeah. So you're giving your opinion to them, and no wonder they sound so good.
Well, I do two things. I give them my ears, and I have pretty good ideas and a pretty good idea of what things should sound like. And I'm also super klutzy, so accident prone, or so the other joke is like, try to break it, and here in Colorado, man, I've done gigs like on chairlifts, taking a chairlift to the top of a mountain or a gondola or something. It's 70 at the base of the mountain, and it's snowing and freezing at the top. And our joke was, when I used to live in Maine, kind of the gigs from hell where you do these island gigs where you'd be out doing, playing on an island out on the ocean. You'd have to charter like a water taxi or a lobsterman or something to bring you back after a gig. Everything's powered on generators. So you're sitting there with your guitar and your gear and, water, the ocean's coming in over the lobster boat and all that. And the equivalent here in Colorado is doing those mountain gigs where it's like snowing and, So I ran over one of the little buds, one of the first prototypes of the buds that we were working on. It was so small that I ran over it. My camera didn't even see it, and I just backed over it in my driveway. And I was on my way to a gig, and so I just grabbed it and threw it in the car, and I went to the gig, and it still worked and sounded great.
Wow.
Well, that should be a selling point. He should be putting that on the thing. Yeah, guaranteed to play when you run it over.
Right.
And so wow, one of the things, some of these, when I go to conferences like this, if I can walk away with just a few little things, that'll set me afire for a year, so I know when somebody goes to your class and they can see, you can share some of those ideas, it's going to be opening up a door to a lot of things, and guys will be like thankful that they went to your class for years. So
yeah, I hope so. And because I've been teaching for so long, I figured out a way to break it down so that it's very accessible and not intimidating. So I would just also offer this to anybody that's watching. The vibe is so nice there. It's not anything to feel intimidated about or self-conscious. Like, everybody's there for the same purpose. And I think a lot of us that are teaching, like you, Rich, have figured out ways to break these things down into very, digestible things that you can walk away with, so you can actually learn what's going on when you see somebody like Joe Pass play, and it's like, how am I ever going to do that? And then, if you have the ability to have somebody that helps break it down for you and show you kind of like what's going on behind the curtain, it makes it it can be life changing. I mean, I know it was for me. I used to listen to all those players and be like, how the heck do they do that? And
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying when I'm watching you.
Well, I'll show you whatever you want to, and anybody that's watching, break it all down. But yeah, I'm really stoked because I think being able to play solo guitar or walking bass lines and chords like with a singer or another instrumentalist, it's a lot of fun. It's something that you can do at home. I mean, there's the classic story, right, of Joe Pass's father saying, like, you should be able to play whole songs, and that's where he got his whole thing, like a guitar player should play 2 hours. But it's really true. And then if you can get a gig, I have a lot of students, for example, a lot of people who are retirees now that can devote 100% of their time to guitar, and they just want to play at like a coffee shop in their hometown or a wine bar or their church or something like that. And it's a lot easier to play in that style with another singer or an instrumentalist than having to get a whole band together and go into a restaurant with a drummer or something like that. It's a style really enjoyable to play, but it also pays off in a lot of ways.
Right. You don't have to divide up all the money.
Man, you don't have to deal with like band politics. You don't have to go on tour.
That's right. Yeah, we don't have to coordinate our shirts.
Right. Yes, just it. You don't have to worry about if the drummer's going to show up or not, or the bass player.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Sean. Do we have any other questions, Wes?
Just Dawn was wondering, what part of Maine were you in?
Well, I was born in Bangor, so originally from Bangor, but later on, like in my 20s, which was in the 90s, I lived in Portland for about 8 years, and Rockport, Bath, Hollowell. My wife and I got married in Hollowell, and most recently, like Rockport, and then we left Maine. We moved to LA. We lived in LA for a little while. I went to grad school at USC, so that's how I got connected to a lot of the LA guitar players there.
Oh, okay.
When I was in Maine, I used to teach at University of Maine at Augusta, which always had a really great jazz program, and I also taught at a place in Brunswick called Bowdoin College. But then when I wanted to go to grad school, we ended up moving to Philadelphia and then LA, and it was amazing being in LA, the guitar community there, and Philadelphia. But LA, the John Pisano Guitar Night was such an amazing thing that brought people together on a weekly basis. And that's one of the things that I really love about these festivals and the guitar shows and what you're doing. You, Rich, and also Wes and Gail, you put together this really great, it's like a community gathering where everybody can get together and play and tell stories. So living in LA was pretty awesome just for the Pisano Guitar Night, because everybody was there hanging out. It didn't matter if you were a college student or somebody in their 30s or 40s or 70s, like they're all guitar players just hanging out,
Yeah, right, yeah. The only bummer about the guitar night is it ends too soon.
Yeah. But it was special while it lasted. I'll just tell you another quick funny Maine story. I didn't realize this at the time because a lot of times people, because I play fingerstyle, and people will automatically say, "Oh, Lenny Bro," talk about Lenny Bro, which is great. He's amazing. But I didn't really get into Lenny until much later, and it was interesting. When I was in high school, I did go to Bangor High School. In the 80s, and I had a friend there, and it was like one of those situations where she was like, my cousin plays the guitar, and I think he's pretty good. Like everybody in the family says he's good, and I was like, cool, and I think he's kind of famous too. And if you want, I can make some tapes. And so she went to her grandmother, and at the time, like made me all of these cassette tapes of Lenny playing at these like small clubs in Maine.
Wow.
As well as some Canadian, Canadian public broadcasting, like their version of NPR or PBS rather. She had all these like VHS tapes of him playing when he was real young in these Canadian shows, and of course it was amazing. I just flipped out. He was so incredible. And years later, I played a guitar festival in Maine with his brother Denny. His brother Denny Bro is a great guitar player too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Is he still around?
He is, and he still plays in Maine. Denny's more of a like a Chet Atkins type of fingerstyle player.
Yeah.
All acoustic, and great killer country player, killer fingerstyle player. But yeah, very musical family. Of course, their dad was a well-known musician in Maine and in
okay.
Atlantic Canadian region. Yeah, but Lenny was incredible, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
Years later, sort of my doorway through fingerstyle guitar was through Earl Clue's solo records and Tuck Andrus, and later is when I discovered Lenny and other people. And, yeah.
Well, it certainly is a blessing to have you at the show. So I guess maybe we ought to wrap this up here. So thank you again, Sean, for coming. And remember, if you want to come to this show and you want to come and see Sean, make sure you use the code of his last name, McCowan, and that way you get 10% off your ticket, as well as Sean gets. We know where you came from. Sean gets some credit. He gets an extra cookie in his lunchbox.
Yeah, anybody listening, I think it's going to be an amazing weekend. Of course, it's in California at the end of February, March, so. Hopefully the weather will be beautiful, but it's going to be like a high of 4 degrees here in Colorado this weekend. And I can't wait to get out and just be with everybody. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of people go to these as like a vacation, and it really is like that. It's a vacation. It's a lot of fun, but also an incredible learning experience just being around everybody. So I can't wait.
Yeah. It'll be fun, and the weather will be much better than 4 degrees. Yes, I can guarantee you that.
Right.
And we might even be, if you get there on I think Thursday, one of the SpaceX rockets are going up, and people book this hotel to see the launch.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I didn't know that. Well, but I did want to mention, I'm sure that you've mentioned this before, but it's also very exciting that Wes Montgomery's son will be there. And as I understand, that we're going to do a concert of some of his music. And so that in and of itself is going to be epic.
Yeah, it is. So, thank you for mentioning that. Well, thank you, Sean. And so let's talk soon, okay?
All right, sounds great. Thanks, everybody, and thanks, Rich and Wes, for having me. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, Sean. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you. Cheers.
Wow, that was great. Man, I'm going to watch this video and slow it down and try to learn some of those moves.
Yeah.
That was great. Wow. So, what do we got going on here, Wes?
Let's grab your Eagle Classic over there.
All right. Come here, Mr. Eagle Classic. Get the cord off of this. Sean is such a nice guy, and like he said, he's been teaching so long that, he's got some shortcuts possibly in a way of showing things that aren't too complicated. And
yeah, you can guarantee that. He's been around the college circuit teaching for 30 years, and
Yeah.
he knows how to make some breakthroughs. I can tell you that for sure. He's probably seen
Yeah.
a lot of light bulb moments go off with students. So then you get that times 20, you know, because I mean, with all these guys have a lot of teaching backgrounds.
And Sean's going to bring some of his music, and I have some of his recordings, and they're wonderful, man. Jeez.
Yeah, so it's really blessed to have Sean and Peter too. It's going to be super fun. For sure.
Sean's just not a solo guitarist, too. You know, he can he hang in a band, no sweat.
Yeah, man, he plays killer. So anyway, we're gonna chat about this Eagle Classic. So this thing I just added to the website not that long ago, and this is custom made for you, 2019.
That's true.
So yeah, you can go to guitarcollege.com/for sale and check out the photos. There's a bunch of them on here. But yeah, this was a custom build from 2019, and like we pointed out earlier, it's a bit darker than the brand new ones. So that's the current one he has in his hand here. The brand new one is, where is the brand new one? Right here. So you can see
which somebody already got.
Much more yellow. Yeah, this thing just sold yesterday, so I gotta pull this thing off.
I don't think it's as yellow as that camera
Oh, it's a lot more yellow than
than this one.
Well, the screen you're looking at sucks, so
that's
not
true,
doing
yeah.
any favors. But it's a lot more. I mean, you can see right here between the two, this photo and this photo, you know, it's quite a bit different. So anyway, let's hear how this bad boy sounds.
All right, I'm going to play my...
Again, it does have the custom gauge strings on it as well. Yeah, the 48, 38, 28, 20, 15, 13
hike.
chrome. So
let me see.
Here we go. Get ready, Wes.
yep. Yeah, that's a cool song there. Gordon said, brilliant composition by a brilliant composer.
Oh, thank you, Gordon. How sweet.
Yeah.
That was my West Side of Heaven, a tribute to Wes. Mr. Montgomery. Anyway,
so yeah, when you recorded that song, what guitar did you use?
L4.
Really?
Really. Sivertson is the Norwegian name for Severson. Wow. I didn't know that. That's cool. Thank you.
You cannot learn from books.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, that guitar sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. You know,
I love this. I shouldn't sell it. Really.
it sounded like that was like the recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with that is you just never. I mean, the last time you took that out was probably the last time I asked about it, you know? Advent Jack has a question here. Does the Heritage Eagle Classic have the same size headstock as the Golden Eagle?
I think so, yeah.
The massive headstock on those things.
Well, you know, that all contributes to the sound of the instrument, man.
Yeah.
And the you know, this 17-degree pitch, you know, apparently adds something to it. Adds a little more tension to the
strings.
nut.
Oh.
So this guitar, yeah, I originally got this with a Tune-o-matic, and I went to the bridge of a wooden bridge. Now, you know, I had one like this that was custom made for me, another one. And I sold that, and I could kick myself for selling that. That thing was so nice and so different. I know I'm going to kick myself for selling this, too. It's just versatile guitar. But, you know, if you're lucky, you can get another Eagle Classic, but one of the new ones are superb as well. So either one.
Yeah, and you know, when you buy a guitar from us, you get that free year-long membership to the library, and you get it set up by you. So better deal getting it, especially a new one. You know, if we have one in stock, which we just sold one yesterday, so we need to get another one. But yeah, this Eagle Classic right here, I have a feeling it's going to go quick. It sounds really good.
Well, let's take a look at this L4 and the Johnny Smith. So when I went to the show, I brought the Johnny Smith and forgot the guitar cord because it takes that little 1/4 inch to, or excuse me, 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch cord. So nobody could hear it, but then people were all over that thing. They were like, wow, that is just a beautiful guitar. And it is. My goodness gracious me.
Yeah, that's a bummer that the cord didn't make it.
Sorry,
Did you find the cord?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
So do you want to play?
I don't. It's up to you. I don't know. We just put the L5 on the website, so you guys could check that. Maybe that
the L5
or the L4.
L4. Oh, the L4. Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah. Oh yeah. This thing sounds so bitchin'.
Yeah.
Now, it does have a couple of cracks. It's got a crack here. Can you zoom in, Les?
Yeah.
There's a little crack here. It's been cleated, by the way. That's been cleated. There's another little crack. See that? Crack over here. And again, that's been cleated. All the cracks are cleated. It's got a scrape. It looks like a crack, but that's a scrape. It goes, I don't know what the heck. Trying to run through a barbed wire fence with it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the scrape on it looks kind of funky. One of these photos in here, which you guys could check out at guitarcollege.com/for-sale. It's in good condition. The neck is really nice on it.
Yeah, it's got a fat neck, but it's not too fat.
There's that crack on the front. A closer look. Here's that thing on the.
That's not a crack. It's
that's
scrape.
the scratch, but it goes all the way through the the top of the neck, which is funky. So this is where this is where the scratch starts, right here.
I don't even know what am I looking at there. Oh, I see.
It starts on the other side of this, so that's what
see.
it's showing where the crack starts right here. And
Scratch, not a crack.
Scratch starts. It does. I was curious about that because it does look. Whatever they did, that's funky. How that, must have drugged something over that. Very bizarre.
I don't know. 1944. It was during the war, man.
Right. Dawn said it's difficult to get one with the fret inlays.
I know. These are the banjo inlays, and I was talking to Sontag, Stefan, and asking him to. Build me a guitar. We're going to build me a guitar. And I said, well, I want banjo inlays. He said, banjo? What do you mean? Yeah, I want these inlays. I think it's just so pretty. Now that's the rhythm. That's the rhythm. If I press this. I think the overhead's still on, so we'll turn it off in a second.
Oh, Dawn was talking about the fret inlays on the Heritage because the Eagle Classic normally doesn't have the inlays, right?
Right. They put them in for me because I said I got to have it if I'm going to teach.
Right. So that's a good point there, Dawn. That the new Eagle Classics do not have the inlays. Let's see if I can find a photo of the neck here. Oh, very good one.
Oh, shoot.
There you can kind of see it here. There's no inlays there. That's not the best photo. It doesn't show the whole neck, but yeah. So, anyway,
these pickups are worth a lot right here.
Yeah, you said that's from the 50s, probably, something like that.
Yeah, from the 40s, probably.
Let's kill this overhead and test it out. You have a track or something?
Sure.
Oh.
We'll do it. I think the action could come up a hair on this. You get a better sound on the high end. Anyway.
That thing sounds cool, though.
Oh, it's definitely got it's got that throaty sound. I love it. So, yeah. So anyway, that's this L4, 1944. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, if you like it, go to guitarcollege.com/for-sale and you can give us a call and pick this thing up. Advent Jack was wondering about that. I guess the chord configuration there has that small chord going into the big chord.
Yeah, it's got that. That's how it is. Somebody did that. Otherwise, it would take the 1/8 inch jack. Or no, this is some kind of weird thing. It's a weird chord. So somebody did it like this. Seems to work quite well. So anyway, before we ended, I wanted to talk real quick about stacking arpeggios. We were talking about that's the next class coming up.
Right.
And quite an easy way to look at it is if we stack triplets, but this is a minute part of this whole thing. If we stack, not triplets, triads, it's simple. If I start here and play C minor, now I play E flat major, now it gets a C minor 7 chord. Now I play a G minor, I have a C minor 9. So now if I start on B flat, I get a C minor 11. If I start here again, I get there's the 6th. So it's like a minor 13. So, and if I keep going and play an F triad over that, and now I go one more time, there's an A minor 7 flat 5. Now, when I'm interpreting C minor as the 2 chord of B flat. So I'm playing all 7 of the triads within the key of B flat. And then it would start over again. So, and then if I had a tune, let's take like, let me find something with a C minor vamp in it, like Tear It Down, wherever it is. Let me just, there's a C minor. So that's stacking just triads. Gets a little more involved in that, but if you're interested in that, check out our class.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. The last one was, like I said, everyone enjoyed it. It was a packed house. It was just a lot of fun. So you can check out the schedule. There's also 2 other classes that are going on the following Wednesdays, and we are going to be adding in some new classes as well, to just kind of keep everyone, give everyone some different times. Right now they're only on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. But yeah, hopefully we can add like maybe like a Tuesday or a Friday, 11 a.m. Definitely hoping to add some more. So keep checking back to the site. And yeah, if you're interested in doing it, I'd suggest to jump on it. You get a video recording of the session, so you can go back and watch it. You get PDF materials to show you, what the lesson is about. The cool kind of new system that you were showing everybody too, which is pretty cool. And then in the last one, we got a practice track with Autumn Leaves. So it's definitely cool. $44, and that signs you up. So go to guitarcollege.com/live classes and get your spot. These are going to be cool for sure.
Right on, Wes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, is it about time to wrap it up?
It
is. What do you think?
Yeah. It is
okay.
Time.
Whoa.
And we're here every Thursday, guys. So subscribe if you haven't already. Come back next Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and we'll be here. Also, if you want to grab a free lesson, you can do that at guitarcollege.com/free lesson, and get on your way to learning something. And by the way, Joseph, thank you for the tip. Appreciate that, buddy. Wow, we're flying off the rails here.
Tony, how you been, buddy? Okay, we'll see you later. Thank you again for watching. Hope you have a blessed week, and we'll see you next Wednesday. What day is it? Thursday. Adios.